What's up, core reporters, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on this season of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. So, episode 2, right? We've got to get into Gino's relationship with Jasmine 2.0 and how badly I feel for Elizabeth when it comes to her husband, Andrei, isolating her from everybody in her life. Right? So why don't we start off with Gino's relationship? I truly cannot believe that this girl that he's seeing, Natalie, is so desperate for attention that she is thirsting after him and acting like he's the hottest guy ever. Imagine investing that much money in your looks. Like, it's very obvious that she's had some injections and some cosmetic enhancements just to end up with Gino. Like, the ROI on that is atrocious, just saying. And it's kind of crazy that the last time he remembers getting intimate with Jasmine was pre-marriage. I'm so curious about the dynamic between them. It just feels so odd. I just don't get it at all. Now, in this episode, we are also introduced. By the way, you guys, if you want to watch 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, or any 90 Day Fiance show, there's a streaming platform called Philo that I've got an affiliate link for that you can use to sign up for a free trial. They've got like over 90 different channels, thousands of different shows, documentaries, movies, you name it. Check it out in the description box, okay? So they did introduce a new couple to this episode, and it's Tiger Lily and Adnan. I have heard about them, but I've never seen them on 90 Day Fiance. And, you know, they were just showing a little bit of like the highlight reel, so to speak, of their relationship. And the chills that went down my spine when he told her that he's a man and he can do whatever he wants to do in their relationship. Gross, right? And then the way he started yelling at her when she talked about not being able to trust him. Sorry, guys, but he gives wife beater vibes. I am nervous for her in that relationship. By the way, her voice is so painfully annoying. I don't know why they put her on this. Like, it's just so nails on a chalkboard, so slow. It's going to be painful watching their scenes. I'm not even going to lie. So when she first started dating or talking to Adnan, this never really came up. But as soon as they got married, all of a sudden he started like pressuring her to convert religions. I know her children are Christian. She seems to be non-religious. However, Adnan wants for the baby that he shares with her to be Muslim, which she's okay with. And that's not enough for him, though. He wants for her to become Muslim as well. Girl. girl. Now, why don't we get back to Jasmine and Gino's storyline? It feels a lot lighter than whatever is going to happen here. This looks like a disaster waiting to happen. So Jasmine finds out through a friend that her husband Gino is seeing a new woman, and she flips her lid because they were supposed to introduce new partners to each other. And these partners were only supposed to be like in the sheets. They were not supposed to actually be dating these people, right? And we already know that Jasmine got pregnant by her partner. She's the one who wanted the open marriage and everything. And she's like, I'm not even dating that guy. Girl, you have a whole baby by him and you live with him. So please stop, right? Now, there's this other couple that I'm really fascinated by. It's another couple that I've never seen in the 90 Day Fiance universe. I tapped out when they started introducing a million spinoffs, but now I'm like curious and back again, right? So it's Cara and Guillermo. And mind you, she's so beautiful to me. She really is. This is a beautiful couple, right? But when I saw the age difference between the two of them and the fact that the guy doesn't have a real job, I knew instantly that this marriage was going to be a nightmare. Ladies, listen, you can date older, you can date younger, marry younger, whatever. But the combination of a younger guy and no real job, terrible. I think it's the no job is probably the worst of it. It's a nightmare waiting to happen. You have to carry him and your child on your back. So obviously you're going to lose your attraction to him because you don't respect him, right? And can I blame her? No, absolutely not. So to the surprise of nobody, there's no intimacy happening in this relationship because, again, she's stressed, she's overworked, overwhelmed, and he is dead weight to her, right? And Guillermo's trying to get back to that place in their marriage and whatnot. And so together with their son, they are going to go pick peaches and whatnot, right? And Guillermo's talking about, oh, I can't wait to eat peaches. I can't wait to eat your peach. And she goes, Don't talk like that. That made me laugh so hard. They haven't screwed you guys in 3 months at this point because things are not going well in their relationship. Again, I totally get it and I do not blame her. The only thing I can blame her for is actually marrying this man and having a kid by him, right? So Kara, apparently, aside from being a real estate agent, she's also a bachata singer. Y'all, if you've been following me, especially on my morning report show, you know I love all things Latin dancing, salsa, bachata, kizomba. I'm there, right? So I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, you got your Venezuelan husband, you know, your son and everything with him. Like, this is really cool that you're leaning into the culture and whatnot. But the way she pronounces bachata, she pronounces it bachata. And every time she says it, like an angel loses its wings. It's absolutely hilarious. So she's also upset that her husband never comes to her shows. She's concerned that the reason that he doesn't come to her shows is because he doesn't like her music. And so he tells her, no, it's not. Look, I'm wearing a shirt, y'all. It kind of looks like I'm nude, doesn't it? But I'm wearing a shirt. So he tells her, no. It's not that I dislike your music. Like, it's just I don't like the crowds of people there. Like, I don't like the nightlife, like, you know, people, which is fair enough. So she's happy to hear that. But then it's time for the confessional. And Guillermo tells us, I don't like her music, y'all. And here's the thing. I can't be surprised because in my opinion, somebody who can't even pronounce bachata properly as a bachata singer, they're probably not tapped in well enough to like make good music, right? Good bachata music. So I don't blame him, but I just know that this is going to be devastating to her to watch back on the television show because that was her biggest insecurity, right? So for his part, Guillermo wants to work on the intimacy in their relationship, of course, right? Not the whole getting a job thing. Like, no, let's work on the physical side. So he proposes that they get back to sleeping in the same bed to fix their marriage, right? And unfortunately, Kara's not ready for it because she drops a bomb on us, which is that when they were doing their marriage therapy and whatnot, marriage counseling, Guillermo told the marriage counselor that he wasn't sure that he loves her. And that's a really difficult thing to come back from. That is a very devastating thing to hear. So to jump from feeling that way to being like, let's get intimate, and you're still not even working on relieving some of the pressure that she's facing as the sole breadwinner of this household, that's a lot. That would send my head spinning, truly, right? Now, Darcey's back, you guys. Every time I cut a steak, in fact, I'm about to put some snake. Don't kill me, but I like to eat my steak in the air fryer. I'm about to put my steak in the air fryer. And every time I'm cutting steak and whatnot, I think about Darcey and Jesse's infamous fight about cutting the steak on the bias. So this time she's back with a new man. His name is Georgi. And I kind of think that he's quitting on his marriage to her. And it's really sad to watch, right? So she and her twin sister, Stacy, they're celebrating their 50th birthday with their husbands. And Stacy's husband shows up, Florian. However, Georgi has Darcey believing that he's not showing up because he's too busy with work, which is weird because her birthday falls on the same day every single year. And so he should have made arrangements with work so that he would be available to go to her birthday party. But he just, lets her stress out about this the entire time. And it was really, really cruel on his part. He does eventually show up, but the vibe was so off, right? And then Darcey starts letting us know that she hasn't even met anybody from his family or anything like that. They are planning on going to meet his family and stuff in his home country, but it still hasn't happened yet. And just all this other stuff that makes you go, is this guy serious about you? Or is he just like looking to profit off of you in some way, right? Anyway, let's go back to Vegas. Gino has finally told his woman friend, Natalie, that he's in an open marriage with Jasmine. And she's pissed because they've been talking for months and he should have told her this sooner. But to be honest with you guys, I feel like she already knew because all of this stuff plays out live, right, on social media, on the show and everything. And she's very clearly a fan. I don't think she has a genuine attraction to Gino. I think that she is an opportunist looking for a platform, which, listen, go ahead, girl, if that's what you want, right? But still, right, I don't know. Listen, she had to have known that they were still together. Anyway, let's get into the Andrei thing. Remember, Andrei, at the beginning of this recap, I told y'all that I'm sad for Elizabeth and how nobody likes Andrei, and it's like putting her in a really bad position. And she always is like stuck there looking stupid, supporting this man who is just like a raging misogynist with quite literally no respect for her. So there was a housewarming party that Lauren and Alexi threw, and this couple, in addition to other couples, were invited, and some of Lauren's friends and Alexi's friends were there. And one of Lauren's best friends got into a fight with Andrei because he was just like so lacking in respect for Elizabeth and just women in general with the way that he would speak to them. And it was this huge screaming match and stuff. And so they eventually left, right? And so they're debriefing about this. And Andrei is so delusional because he thinks people are against them because they're jealous of them moving to Moldova. They're not moving to this country where people dream of moving to, right? They're moving to Moldova. No offense to anybody from Moldova, but people are not dreaming of moving there, okay? So I'm sorry, but I cackled when he said that. But, you know, Andrei is just so toxic that her family doesn't like him, her friends don't like him, her friends' don't like him. The public nobody likes this man, but every single time that something happens, instead of opening her eyes, she just, you know, clings to him harder and harder. And it makes me really sad for her because one day she's going to wake up and she's going to realize that everybody was right. Nobody was jealous of this situation. We don't want your situation, baby girl, right? I think that her going to potentially move to Moldova for him is going to be one of the worst mistakes she ever makes in her life, because I think that this is somebody who's perfectly capable of and potentially planning to keep those children there forever and to not allow them to be able to leave. Once you're in his turf, be careful. He makes the rules and he runs things. And so I wouldn't trust him, right? With any other foreign spouse, whatever, right? You know, to visit. But with someone like that who already doesn't have respect for women, let alone his wife, I would not do that at all. So I really hope that Elizabeth's family and friends really, really, really tell her to think twice, thrice, 4 times about this, because this could be the worst mistake of her life, right? To be trapped over there with her kids. So now, why don't we get back into Darcey's very confusing marriage, right? So it's very weird to me that Georgi showed up to her birthday party without his wedding band. So first of all, instead of just telling her, I'm going to try to come like, a little bit later after work, blah, blah, he has her stressing, thinking he's not coming. And then when he does finally show up, he has to have the attention by not wearing his wedding band. It's because he was in a rush after work. He forgot. No, he just is constantly looking to take her down a peg. And I really hate to see that, to be honest. I think he hates her low key. And he also didn't want to kiss her during the cake cutting. So her sister Stacy and her husband, when they were cutting the cake, the husband was licking it off her face and everything. And so Darcey says, you could do that to me too. And he's like, do what? In front of everybody. This marriage is a humiliation ritual for Darcey, very, very sad to see. But, at least she is au courant. She knows that this is happening. And so in her confessional, she says that she notices that her husband isn't as affectionate as her sister's husband. And she says, it hurts. However, she doesn't want to leave him. They're a team. And so I really hope that this is something that they can work out. But to be honest, there's something off with her husband. I don't think he's there with the right intentions. Now, finally, the episode wraps up with Natalie refusing to take things further with Gino. Gino hasn't gotten laid in a really long time. He was hoping that tonight was the night. He went, he bought some special perfume and everything, right? But Natalie says, no, I need to get Jasmine's side of things to confirm that this truly is an open marriage and you're not just BSing me. And she says that she doesn't want to essentially contribute to blindsiding another woman and hurting another woman. And I say, thank God. I was pleasantly surprised by this because, to be honest with you, I thought that Natalie was extremely thirsty. I'm sorry, but if you're doing this on TV with Gino acting like he's the hottest guy in the world, you're extremely thirsty. I'm sorry, right? So I did think that she was somebody who was capable of doing this and just rubbing it in Jasmine's face and causing this big beef with her or whatever. But I was really pleasantly surprised to know that I was wrong and that I judged a book by its cover and its actions and stuff. However, these actions are different. So thank God for that. I'm starting to like Natalie, and I'm really hoping that this is going to lead to a confrontation between or a sit down between Jasmine, and Gino later on in this season. What do you guys think? And also, do you think she's real or is she a producer plant? Is she an actress? I kind of get the vibe she's an actress to spice up the storyline. Just saying, right? Anyway, you guys, that does it. A recap of what went down on 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After after episode 2. As usual, I'm more excited to know what you thought about everything. So please don't hesitate to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. And I do also have a link in the description box that you can use to sign up for a free trial so that you can enjoy streaming the show and many others like it over on Philo. Take care, you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.